What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamer Dad channel. So I finally beat this guy for the second time using my PC character. Now, I wanted to go ahead and do a really interesting breakdown of what I felt this character, that's Margit the Omen, is about and ways that you can actually defeat him. So if you're having problems breaking into the castle, the very first thing that I would say is you probably need to go level up. Now, I beat him on my PlayStation character that's around level 50 something, and then on my PC character that's around level 60. And my build on the PC, I'll show you, it's nothing really crazy. It's really high vigor, high strength, about 30 something strength, and a little bit of dex. And I think those are the three stats I'm focusing on. And then the other stats that I'm going to be focusing on later on are mind and endurance, just so I can carry other heavy equipment. This is a warrior build, and I'm just going to go full on DPS with this bad boy. Now, in regard to the weapons that I used, it was a little confusing because I'm not necessarily a fan of the swords that you're given as a warrior. So what I used was, I think it was like two long swords of some kind that I got from those soldiers around the camp or something like that. And I don't really know where I got them. I think I got them from those soldiers. I just kept farming and I was able to get them. And these were what I used. In fact, I hadn't even leveled them up. I didn't have enough, resources to do that. But I liked the way they actually swung. They swing somewhat close to the katana. And I kind of like the way that it actually works. Not necessarily the same, but whenever you use the dual blade, there's a double slash that goes with it that I'm really a fan of. And so I really wanted that kind of animation, because I wanted to basically do one slashes based on my setup and then back away and just kind of monitor and watch him and learn his movesets. So let's do a quick breakdown very quickly. Other than just the numbers for the build, I also went to use the summon. There's a sorcerer that's actually outside. There's an NPC that's outside there that you can summon to help you. And I would say take the help if you're having problems. Now, if you really want to challenge yourself and beat him solo, there's nothing wrong with that. By all means, you're probably watching the wrong video, because I didn't beat him solo, so I can't necessarily help you too much. Maybe I can show you a few things though that could help, because my setup was I took the kitchen sink in there, if you were to ask me. Now, I took my ashes summons for the Godric Soldiers. These guys are easily gotten from just some random graveyard off the path from the Stormhill Grey site. All you got to do is, once you approach it, just continue to drive a little west on the map around a cliff until you get to around this weird gravesite with a bunch of jellyfish, and it is within the gravesites around there. You could just pick it up and take off. It's a very easy one to get for the power that it brings, and they are tested and true by me on early game content, and I can tell you that they do a very good job. On my PC character, nonetheless, I think they're leveled up to 1 or +2, so they're not even as strong as my PlayStation character. My PlayStation character, when we got in there, I only did it like, I think 3 times, and man, they beat on this guy like crazy. But even with +2, they were still able to help me do a lot of work against them. And now the highlight though of this particular setup and this particular strategy is using the Bloodhound, I think quick step or something like that. Now, this is not necessarily the regular quick step Ash of War that you can put on your weapon and you can basically, move kind of fast or dodge. The Bloodhound one actually removes you from, the present location that you are and teleports you to a location of your choosing, but it uses FP. So you have to also be very, very cognizant of that. In order for you to get it, there is a knight on the bridge in Caelid. This is the knight that usually a lot of people will say you can use, as a rune farm on some random weird path that you have to take that has poison. So if you go to Caelid and you go to this particular checkpoint that's here, you're going to be able to see him on that bridge if you actually pass time till nightfall. That's when he actually does spawn. And so what you want to do is you want to run on the bridge and pretty much make your way through those poison fields. And as you're making your way through those poison fields, the poison is basically going to get him and eventually melt him. Now, he is quite challenging. He doesn't necessarily follow you all the time, but sometimes he can follow you. In fact, on PlayStation, I tried like 7 times. On PC, the very second time I tried, he ran long enough with me and stayed in the poison, and he just melted him. And I got 40-something thousand runes and also got that particular quick step. Equip that on your sword, or if you have a shield that, you know, you don't have parry as its normal skill or whatever, it has a skill slot, put that on there. And if you really want to use it, this thing makes you dash all around. It's very hard to track you. And I would say if you want to really spam it, then put a little bit more effort into getting, say, some FP, or reallocating your FP flasks to have reallocating your flasks, sorry, to have more FP, so that you can pretty much go ahead and just have enough of it while you're, you know, fighting against him, because sometimes he will really track you in some weird ways. And that's part of the Souls game. In fact, I think I now understand what's going on with the AI. The AI has a really interesting mechanic within it. It's reading you and tracking you and waiting for you to actually be impatient in your dodges. So your most, you know, valuable dodge moves are the ones that are actually executed as the animation is pretty much released. And if you actually do multiple jumps before that, it seems like there is a punish metric for it. I don't know how the programmers at From Software put this in place, but man, they really did such a good job in taking that on. But anyways, I'll leave you guys to watch the fight where I actually got to beat him. You're already seeing the ones that he's basically, you know, peppering us. And I want you guys to basically kind of just, you know, watch that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And if you have any other tips for me, I'll be happy to take them. But for now, this is such an enjoyable, you know, experience, because this is kind of like the place in the game where you kind of say, all right, I think I really want to continue doing this. And so after a good amount of hours, you know, I think I've been able to kind of like figure a few things out, maybe one or two things. I'm just not going to say I figured a bunch out. No, just two things. And that's already enough, because I know that there are at least way more, you know, very important critical strategies that you as a player can use that would definitely help you be successful. But again, I'll leave this video to run so that you guys can kind of watch that. I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you so much for even tuning into the video. Peace out.
Fell Omen shall brook thee.